Hello everybody, welcome to the Centbee Show, where we talk about everything Centbee and Bitcoin and blockchain related. I'm your host Lorien Gamaroff, and my co-host is Kage Ntshingila. How are you doing, Kage?
I'm good in yourself, Ms. G.
I'm amazing, good to be here.
Yeah. Dropping another honey dripping episode of the Centbee Show.
Exactly. I like all the phrases that are starting to emerge when we look at the videos and we hear what, honey dripping episode.
Yeah.
There's a couple more.
You know the drill by now.
Yeah.
Also, one that's also quite important. One of the phrases that we now and again highlight is with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh yeah, that's with looking after your 12-word backup phrase.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, Ms. G, as we now and again touch on our features, it's quite important also just to come back, just to iron it out and highlight important things about the feature that maybe we might have missed in previous episodes. But that feature is payment requests. So I would like us to expand on how it can benefit people in general.
Yeah, so let's just talk about it, what it is in general terms.
Yeah.
If you want people to send you money, you'll normally send them a message, and of course we've got Centbee Chat Pay.
Yeah.
We're trying to get people to chat and send each other money, because we've said before that's kind of how payments happen. It's normally a conversation.
It is. Yeah.
That's what gave birth to Chat Pay.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do just want to send somebody a quick little note and say, hey, send me the money you owe me.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an invoice number or
even a tip.
A tip or something. Yeah. What you could do is you could then go and send a request to someone. So payment requests is quite an early feature inside Centbee. In before version 4, you could send somebody a notification and then they had the option to pay.
Yeah.
But now in version 4, we've improved that. And what people can do now is they can go to their receive screen.
Yeah.
They can put in a note, they can put in an amount that they want to receive, and then they can tap on a contact. So they can say request payment, there's a button, and that'll open up your Centbee contacts. It has to be a Centbee contact. You can't unfortunately send payment requests to other Bitcoin SV wallets.
Okay.
Yet, until that becomes a standard. Hopefully that will become a protocol we could figure out.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you select a Centbee contact, and then they will get a notification saying that a payment request has been sent, and this is the note and all that.
Yeah.
So it's just a quick note, it's just a quick notification, and instead of having to strike up a conversation, you can go and do the payment the payment request and get paid. So it's a really great little nifty feature if you just want to request a payment.
Yeah. Now that sounds cool and also easy to use. And I also appreciate the fact that we've refined it as a feature. You were mentioning, we've had it like from our previous version, but stepping into version 4, it's more easier to use and understand in terms of also the UX. Because if you see that it's more organized, you can put in the specific amount of your request, and then you can add a note, and then you can send it.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can easily get paid that quick.
Yes, and so what will happen, there's another screen on the receive screen, another tab. If you swipe, you'll be able to see the payment requests that you've sent.
Previously, yeah.
Or the ones that people have sent you.
And
And it shows the status if it's been paid.
Yes.
That's very important.
Yeah.
In version 3 and that, when you paid somebody in payment requests, you didn't know if they had paid it or anything like that.
You probably have to send a quick chat pay message.
Or check your transactions or something.
Yeah.
So now you can actually see the history of your payment requests.
And that's cool.
You can see if it's been paid.
Yeah.
You can send a reminder. So it's just a much more easy to understand, easy to use, easy to keep track of feature in Centbee.
Yeah.
And as I said, anybody can probably find it useful if ever you want to get money from someone for whatever reason. Maybe you owe me money and I can send you a payment request.
Yeah. I mean, I see it that's pretty awesome, because I see it in so many use cases, whether it's small businesses or a young hustler trying to earn a few bucks, or even me trying to pay my brother, just giving him his sort of like allowance, because I do forget at times, and he would actually send me a payment request.
Yeah.
Like pay up. You know, so it's pretty cool. So I can see it in so many use cases. Oh, cool. Yeah, thanks for that, Ms. G. But if we're going to be talking getting paid, this is a channel of getting paid, you know. I could have 5 more other channels, which through our experience, they're not as fast. How does that differ from all these 5 other options I have?
Yeah, now, of course, the efficiency of Bitcoin SV is that, first of all, the fees are very low.
Okay.
And the transactions are basically instant. So if you send somebody money, then they will receive it within a few seconds into their wallet, and they'll be able to spend it.
Okay.
But of course, if you send somebody a payment request, it's not that now, as soon as that payment request is sent, that you will get paid, because the payment still has to be initiated by the sender.
Yes.
So what will happen is they will get a message and they'll get a notification in their Centbee wallet, but they still have to act on it. They have to open up the notification, and they can look at the text and see who it's from, the note, and only if they accept that, that's when the transaction will be initiated.
Yeah.
And from that moment of acceptance, though, it'll be instant.
Yeah.
By introducing the BSV blockchain in the whole mix, then you do benefit from the very low transaction fee, because it's just a standard Bitcoin transaction. And of course, those are always tiny, less than a tenth of a cent, a US cent. And also the speed of it, which is the most important part, which is why we like the original Bitcoin protocol, because it was meant to be cash. And a cash transaction should be fast as well as low cost. So that's really the benefit that Centbee Wallet can provide to users. If they want to use it as another option or another way to get paid, they can benefit from the BSV transaction fees if you're the sender. So it's a nice way to pay people. And of course, once you've gotten paid, you can now have that transaction instantly and then be able to spend it because of the zero confirmation certainty that the Bitcoin SV blockchain can provide.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I can request a payment, get paid immediately, and then immediately start shopping.
Right.
All in one app.
Exactly. So that's what you can do. As soon as you get paid in Centbee, as soon as you see that money, you don't have to wait for any confirmations like you have in other blockchains. So payment requests on Centbee it's a really nice, fun way to get paid.
All right, cool. Thanks for that, Mr. G. Yeah, guys, you heard it. It's that simple, man. So if you don't have Centbee by now, you're missing out. Remember to show some love, subscribe, comment. You know the drill by now. And yeah, don't forget to check the Centbee app on the stores. Yeah, Mr. G, we're going to be stepping into this week's general points on Bitcoin. And we're going to be talking about the price volatility, because people who also have a misunderstanding of what BSV really is, they still have this nature of it maybe being a speculative thing. So I'd like us to clarify more on that.
Exactly. Now look, it's not just BSV. The whole cryptocurrency or whatever it is, I don't want to say market, but it's kind of like a casino. Since the early days, people thought that holding Bitcoin and then other cryptocurrencies, what they would see is the prices of those tokens increase rapidly, and people would become millionaires and billionaires. And that's really just been the nature of this whole cryptocurrency craze that's been going on since the birth of Bitcoin. And of course, BSV, even though the original Bitcoin BSV protocol it never was meant to be something that you store as a hedge against inflation or some kind of store of value. A lot of people in the industry, in the crypto industry, talk about store of value. And when they look at something like BTC, they say that BTC is a store of value in and of itself. In other words, just by the fact that it exists and it has the properties that it does, the scarcity and all that, it now is a valuable thing. And that means as more and more people see the value in it, the more valuable it'll become because it's scarce. Now, of course, it's it's very strange. If you're just a simple person and somebody comes up to you and says, look at this digital thing, this digital token, it's scarce, and you can keep it and no one can take it away from you, so they say, and you can then, instead of saving your wealth in gold or whatever it is, you can now store your wealth in this valuable thing. And a simple person, most people out there struggle to get over that and say, well, what is it? How is it? It's almost like you have to drink some kind of crypto Kool-Aid for you to, in fact, it's not so much the Kool-Aid around the wealth that it can generate, but the Kool-Aid is that this is a genuinely new way of storing value, but also something that can one day protect you against the financial system's inevitable demise. A lot of people think that the way that the fiat currency system works today, where central banks basically create money, and banks, of course, but through fractional reserve, but ultimately the money that we have, what we call money, the rands and the dollars and the yen and the naira, people call that money, but everybody is now starting to realize that this inflation thing that's going on in around the world might not be because of greedy businessmen, but it might be because the system itself is flawed. And so people who are interested in those things, the problems with inflation, and also people who would be understand the idea of what Austrian economics teaches, which is that money needs to be something that is sound, in other words, something that cannot just be created out of thin air, but also is a real valuable thing. People think that Bitcoin can now fill that gap and create a way for us to store wealth that cannot be manipulated and corrupted by the powers that be. So when we talk about crypto Kool-Aid, on one hand, it's the fact that what gets a lot of people interested in it, legitimately, I'm not talking about those who want to make a quick buck, but the people who are interested in blockchain look at it as a tool that can make the system, the financial system, more fair. And so those people are genuine advocates of blockchain and cryptocurrency because they think that this is a tool that can correct the problems that we have today and can bring about a fairer system where you can have a system of money that cannot be manipulated and acts just like gold, except it's not tangible, it's digital.
It's digital,
So you get the two types of people in crypto, the speculators who think, well, I'm going to flip these tokens and make some money, maybe pump and dump and manipulate the markets, and we can get rich that way. And of course you get the genuine advocates who aren't interested in all that, but think of it this as a tool, as I said, that can change the world for the better. So of course now we have people, and those people believe in it, by the way, the people who are advocates for blockchain and cryptocurrency and decentralized nature of money, they also think that when the world catches on, the value of these things is going to go higher and higher. A lot of sensible, serious economists and investors often say, look, if Bitcoin replaces gold, it's going to be X million dollars a coin and all that. And so they really believe that there's a chance that these crypto tokens can go up in value. So of course now what we have is this phenomenon that has been around for a long time, which are these exchanges, and people go onto the exchanges and they trade crypto. So a lot of people out there think that if you buy and invest in these tokens, they'll go up in value. But then of course, because of exchanges, people are trading them and speculating on them and manipulating the markets and pumping and dumping and doing all that stuff. So unfortunately, the whole crypto market is very volatile. And very few people understand the difference between any of it at all. They just see symbols on exchanges and they look at they look at charts and do technical analysis and that sort of thing. And so BSV, even though it is not any of that, it's cash as well as a ledger, just gets lumped into it. And BSV also gets traded on the exchanges and people manipulate the price, and of course it tracks the market generally. I mean, all of crypto goes up and down together, just about. If BTC goes up in value, BSV is going to go up in value and vice versa. So right now we live in a world where, because people don't understand all this stuff. They think that this is real and this is a genuine thing, a market that is going to continue forever and it's going to develop and evolve, and eventually everybody's going to be involved with the cryptocurrencies. If that state continues, if people constantly forever have this and trade, then we're going to see volatility, and BSV will always be just lumped into it, even though of course BSV has utility. Now a very important thing to note is that we see how around the world securities regulators are starting to clamp down on a lot of these cryptos. And also starting to have added scrutiny on exchanges. And we see giant exchanges like Binance now in trouble. And of course FTX and all that. So there's a lot of pressure in the crypto world in terms of people having the freedom to manipulate the markets and to trade these things freely and just to go bananas. So that's changing. But also what's happening is that the utility of Bitcoin SV, the original Bitcoin protocol, is gradually becoming more apparent. We're starting to see how the BSV ecosystem is growing in terms of the startups and companies that are creating apps and businesses on top of the blockchain. And people are seeing that the fees are extremely low and it's possible to create millions of transactions and get them put into blocks.
It's the utility.
Because blocks don't have an artificial limit, as they never were meant to have. Remember, BTC has put an artificial limit of 1 megabyte, or maybe a little bit more because of SegWit and all that stuff. So really, what is going to happen, in my view, is that over the years to come, in the months and years to come, we're going to start seeing less ability for people to go onto these exchanges and just to trade freely without all the right KYC and all that kind of stuff to control the activity. And so that is going to dampen the cryptocurrency trading market. It's certainly going to bring down the number of cryptos there are that people can trade. Then it's going to become a matter of looking at these blockchains. And remember, a lot of them have been in development for many years. Even look at Ethereum. When we see that actually running smart contracts on Ethereum, when things become when there's a lot of activity, then the fees go up, the gas fees go up, and everything becomes a little bit clogged on Ethereum. Eventually, these investors, these people who are looking at these blockchains to see if they can find businesses that of the future that can use blockchain in all these novel ways, they're going to be getting a little bit tired of the promise that in 18 months there's going to be a solution to the problems that these blockchains are facing. And they're going to look around and say, well, look, none of these blockchains are delivering. Which blockchains are delivering? And not just delivering in terms of throughput. First of all, the cost of those transactions and how many you can put through there. But also the legality of it.
Scalability.
Is this blockchain a legal blockchain? Does it have all the important requirements around what regulators want when they look at cash transactions or business transactions, things that are going to be put on these blockchains? Do they have the right controls and visibility? And of course, amazingly, the way Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin is he had the foresight to look at what was the regulatory environment and saw those things that would make his Bitcoin blockchain comply with all those important rules, as well as being flexible and low cost and scalable. So now what will happen then after maybe months and years, who knows how long this will last, I don't think it'll be years, we're going to then start seeing those blockchains that just are not delivering fall away as well, and ultimately people will start looking at BSV blockchain and saying, well, that's the only one that works. And now we want to start using it. And to start using that blockchain, we're going to need Bitcoin tokens, because that's what you need to be able to write to the blockchain ledger. And if companies like the supply chain companies, like Unisot, which is a supply chain company building supply chain apps and tools and services on top of BSV blockchain. And of course, there are so many other companies doing the same. Those companies will now start demanding and requiring Bitcoin to deliver the services to their customers. Centbee needs our customers to have BSV so that they can shop and they can send money. So when that natural demand from business activity starts taking over the speculation on the exchanges, then there's going to be a natural supply and demand dynamic. And we will start seeing things stabilize, because maybe sometimes there'll be increases in demand because maybe a new company will be developed and now it'll need something, and maybe there'll be an increase in users on Centbee and there's more demand for BSV, and we have to now source BSV on the market. So, I mean, that's what we do today.
Which is normal, I guess, also in the sense of growing, because we can't just, I mean, with the fact that BSV is scalable, it is definitely meaning that there's going to be companies, joining, the movement, building or innovating new stuff, and definitely things are going to be more simpler. So yeah, we're definitely heading for that future.
Absolutely. So that's why I feel confident that Bitcoin SV as cash, where users have cash in their wallets and they're not worried about the price of that cash or the value of that cash decreasing over time. What eventually we'll see is a stabilization in that, and BSV will then be able to be used as cash. Now remember, cash has high turnover, and so of course it's not a great place to save unless the volatility one day becomes negligible, or maybe even just slightly positive. Maybe that could be a great way to save your cash. But remember, with Centbee, and just generally how you think about cash is meant to be used.
Definitely.
There's no life savings in your Centbee wallet, I hope.
It doesn't work like that.
I hope what it is spending cash. And if you have low amounts and you can keep turning it over and spending, then of course the volatility won't affect you as much.
Cool, sure. Thanks for that, Mr. G. I mean, that brings a bit of clarity on what BSV should be. Instead of us focusing on the price going up and down, it's about spending, and that is BSV in its true nature. Sure. Yeah, guys, we're going to be jumping into this week's questions and feedback from you guys on socials. So, Mr. G, our first question comes from Indie Guy. So he posted it on X, so he wants to know, can you help me, please? I can't send money to my bank account.
Now one of the very important features we have is money send. And that means you can send your BSV from anywhere in the world to a number of countries that we support, where you can send money to a bank account or a mobile money account, or even a cash collection where you'd go to an ATM and pick up the money. Now, sometimes when users use that service, and you do need to KYC to use that service, so just do your identity verification, then there is a delay, and what that means is that something could have gone wrong with that transaction. Most often it would be maybe the recipient details haven't been inserted correctly. So maybe the name has been misspelled, or something was wrong about it, because there is a validation that happens on the other side by the bank. It checks to see, is this recipient valid recipient. Sometimes there is an issue where the service provider on the other side does an anti-money laundering check. And they might say, look, we need more information. Can you please send an ID document or another photo, or can you tell us the address of this person, or something like that? So sometimes the service provider has to do some check and needs some more information. And so those are the kinds of problems that mostly happen to our users. Is either the recipient needs to be validated, or even the sender. Maybe sometimes the sender also needs to provide some more information. And then of course the bank delays. With some of the banks, we can issue an instruction, but then they have their own internal delays. Maybe it can take 24 hours or something like that. So there will be a number of issues. On very rare occasions, we have had users have a problem where the Bitcoin transaction didn't go through. That can sometimes happen to user wallets, and that means your wallet's not syncing properly with the network, and that can easily be resolved by support. So those are the kinds of issues you may face. So if you do find that you're having a problem with your transaction, if it's taking a little bit longer than you expect, please just contact support@centbee.com, and one of our support consultants will help you out.
Sure. Thanks for that, yo. Thanks, Indie Guy. Thanks for the question, yo. Mr. G, these guys need to download Centbee if they haven't, because they're missing out. And everyone who's watching, or if you haven't watched the Centbee Show, come on, man, you're missing out. Don't forget to comment, subscribe. You know the drill by now. Yeah, guys, we're going to be stepping into this week's highlights from socials. Yeah, we love it when we get some love from you guys, So yeah, we got some love from Peter Realverse, also dropped it on X. So he's saying, yo, dude, check this out. Centbee's chat pay spices up your chats. Now you can slide lunch money. This is funny. Now you can slide lunch money into your bestie as easily as sending a meme. Imagine that. Yo, guys, I'll keep repeating this. If you don't have the Centbee app, you're missing out. Check it out on the app stores. Remember to comment, subscribe, show some love. You know the drill by now, yeah? Cool, yeah. So our second feedback comes from Cornell Christian Philip. This was actually dropped on our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
yeah.
People started to watch.
Yeah, they're
Numbers
already
are
showing
growing.
some love, man. And this is actually on the previous episode.
Okay.
So he's saying this is exactly what the younger generation needs, a practical solution for using digital cash in today's modern economy to be able to live in the lifestyle they want.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Cornell.
He says he's also looking forward to seeing more growth from us. That's dope, man.
Yeah, well, that's what's going to happen for sure.
Cool. What's up? Actually, there was a series of them. Viet says, excellent. Babel says, Centbee is the digital wallet for the world. Thomas Jacobson is saying, I love it. Golden Steel is saying Centbee and flexing emojis. So this is awesome, man. And our last one comes from Zag Zag, and he's saying, Centbee's the best.
Cool.
Thanks for the love, guys.
Yeah, thanks for all the viewers watching it on YouTube. We really do want to make this a show that brings value to you. We don't just want to make it a Centbee infomercial.
Yeah.
So we're very happy to see that you're enjoying the content. And if you do have any suggestions or any feedback, please just leave some feedback there. We really want to know what you guys are thinking.
Yeah, guys, you heard Mr. G. Drop us some comments. Also, if you need some support, drop us an email at support@centbee.com. Also, check us on our socials. Remember to download the Centbee app on the stores. And yeah, guys, this is how we wrap it up this week.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Kage. Well, thanks for another great show. I think we're going to be wrapping it up for the year soon.
Yeah.
And we're going to be finishing our pilot season, and we're going to be moving into a real season next year.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get a little bit more pro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoy this, the fact that we can reach out to our users and our viewers out there and let them see us and hear what we're thinking.
Yeah.
To let them know that we're thinking about them. Mm-hmm. We still are fully dedicated to creating the world's best digital cash wallet.
Yep.
And we really love to hear from you so we can make sure that what we're building is for you. So thanks everybody for joining us here on the Centbee Show. Please come back soon.